Hello and welcome. This video is brought to you by the streamingadvisor.com. Tailor your entertainment with streaming. And what we're looking at in this video is the new Hulu app. There's a new Hulu app that includes integration of their new live TV service. But in order to get that live TV service, you have to have a device that has access to the new app. Right now, there's not a lot. By the time you see this video, it might be on everything. So, don't take my word for it. But at the moment, this is May 4th, 2017, you do have a little more limited options. So, what you can get it on at the moment is an Apple TV, an Xbox One, iOS devices, that's going to be your Apple mobile devices, iPad and iPhone, things like that. It's going to be good for Android devices. And it also works with Chromecast, which use the Android or iOS apps to cast. And that is it. Now to keep in mind though, if when we're talking Chromecast, that includes anything with Chromecast built in. So that's any TV that has Chromecast built in. That's an NVIDIA Shield, the Air TV, the Show Me player, and even the Nexus player if you got one. But in general, those are the devices, like I said, at this moment that work. As things improve and as it grows, we'll do more videos on the service on other things. But let's jump in and take a look at the app. But, a very, very, very important thing you need to know is if you've already got Hulu, you're going to need to download the app again. So on an Apple TV, for instance, you would select the device and select Hulu with your remote, and you might notice it shakes when you select it, and press the button for options. That's your play pause button. So we're going to press that, and you see you've got delete, new folder, and cancel. So in order to delete the app, just click delete. That's not going to delete the fact that you have Hulu. That doesn't change anything on Hulu's end. It just takes it off of the Apple screen. You do have to reload it and then re-sign in. All you got to do is search for it. You see that we've done it. We did a Hulu search. Real easy. You go to Hulu and open. So that's all you do. And when you actually sign into the new app, you actually get a list of options that you set up. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let's see, we'll set up my daughter's profile. So ask me if we want to switch to the profile. Yes. Hey, Michelle, we're adding items into your lineup. Okay. If you already got a profile, it's going to drop things in that you might enjoy or have watched. Now, you might not even have a Hulu profile. So let's show you what it would be to add a profile. Profile name will be We're in the South and you're watching. So I'm going to make you feel real welcome. We're going to call this new profile Y'all. Because Southerners say y'all. Not all of us, but even the most city-fied folks find themselves saying it now and then. So, we're calling the profile Y'all. Do you want it to be kids-friendly only? Turn on to watch? No, we don't want this to be kids-friendly only. So, y'all need to tell us when your birthday is. So, let's say your birthday is the 31st of 1981. Oh, 1781, old brother. Congratulations if you were born in 1781. But let's just make this a while ago. We'll say 1980. You can choose a genre, or I'm sorry, a gender. I'm just not going to say. How about that? So, for May 31st, 1980. Alright, y'all, let's move along. Here, you do have to, you can understand what they're looking for in terms of use. Okay, I don't know if you can read that, and that's something that we're going to be talking about. You say, I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but it actually says, by clicking Create Profile, you agree to consent of the terms of use. That's one of the things about this new app that I'm not crazy about. We're going to go ahead and create the profile. Is that a lot of the writing is white, and I don't necessarily think that that's the most efficient way to do that, because you might not be able to read the white writing. Okay, so you're going to get started. You're going to swipe through, and what the swiping through does is it shows you sort of how the menus work. This is a kind of a complicated menu. I'm just trying to help you understand it. It has a home section up in the upper left hand corner. It has the My Stuff plus mark that you use when you're going through the lineups. The little check mark is one place for all of your stuff. So after you add things to My Stuff, it goes under Your Stuff, and we're going to continue. If you've got a watch list to import, this is going to, if you have an existing Hulu profile, it's going to let you import everything that you've got, all the stuff that you've checked off, all the movies and TV shows that you maybe had in your watch list. It will do that. This is a brand new watch list, so we don't even have anything to do. So from here you can go into recommendations, and this is where you're going to choose things that you might like. So we're going to say we like edgy animation and supernatural. We're not going to go too wild on this. So you notice when you select it, it turns white. Doop. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, we're going to continue. Press to the right to continue, and you jump in. Here you can add shows to My Stuff. The My Stuff is a new term. Get to know a new vocabulary. So you want to add some shows to that. You see, because we liked edgy animation, it selects it. It suggests Bob's Burgers. So we select Bob's Burgers. Because we like supernatural, X-Files. And depending on how many categories, if you say you like crime, it's going to say, because you like crime, how about Law and Order? How about this, that, and the other? There's just no reason to turn on every single option at the moment. Under adding networks, this is going to do things that help you find your live TV stuff faster. So when you go into add my networks, let's say you like Adult Swim, the Big Ten Network, A&E, like ABC. We're just going to keep this simple right now. I'm going to go in. You can add any of their networks, and they've got about 53, depending on whether you've got your local channels or not. Look at that. Hey, y'all, we're adding your stuff. That's too funny. Okay, so now you get into the nitty-gritty. This is the full menu for Hulu. And the thing is that while you might have signed up for live TV, what you're really signing up for is accessing live TV through their whole big app. And this is a big app. It's a pretty app. In fact, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with Kodi, but the controls and everything really remind me of Kodi. Because of the way that the artwork changes in the background depending on what you're selecting. I like that a lot, except that the only issue I see is, because I was pointing out earlier, the white writing. I'm not going to leave that alone. I don't think it's easy to read that. On the Story with Erica Hall, can you read that? I know you can read the top one, if you've got decent eyesight, that's big font. But underneath, under Watch Live, On the Story with Erica Hill, it's not all that easy to read. And in some cases, it's perfectly fine. White on dark blue is very easy to read. But I've seen video selections where the background was like something like sunshine, and if it's a nice sunny happy background, there's one that's a little more difficult to read. So that is an issue. But you do see, while we've been bouncing through the menu, that Hulu breaks its content down into a number of categories. This dark futures category is kind of cool. It's like a dystopian category. I don't know if that's going to always be there, but right now I've set up 3 or 4 different profiles, and dark futures always comes up. Magic of Disney always comes up. Binge-worthy always comes up. So this is their lineup at the moment. Hulu originals. There aren't as many Hulu originals as there are originals from other networks and other groups, but the Hulu originals are cool. I really, really like the 1963, the time travel one. Featured movies is based on their setup with epics. There's always been a movie selection. This isn't the only movies you can watch, keep in mind. You can always select the movie category. News is going to pull up a lot of the live TV stuff. Say watch live, and more news. You can go in and check out other news options. You can look at their live stuff. You can see what's coming up. Popular stuff. Maybe you like 2020. And so this is where you start using the My Stuff thing. So, we went into news, popular, and now you got 2020. If you want to watch 2020 whenever it's on, be ready to watch it when it's on. But let's say you want to be able to access it later. You add it to My Stuff, and it's going to go into that My Stuff folder. Let's go straight back to like the home, for instance. Boop. Okay. So, your upper menu here, you got My Stuff, and see now 2020 is available there. The last time it came on was April 21st, so that's what you've got available. It should list other episodes as it goes. You can just add the show in general to My Stuff. But I want to point something out. This is a really, really pretty app. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. It's not only is it Apple, but it's Hulu really put some thought into making this look nice. I guess they felt like the black and green branding was, past its prime. But I think that this app has too much stuff on it. The thing is, you've got to think horizontal. Then you got to think vertical. So, for every horizontal menu selection you do, you've got a vertical listing that you've got to go through. Then you jump in, and, you've got other things you've got to worry. We jump in on, you can watch it, but in general, I don't think it's simple enough. I feel like you might get lost on this. I also think that something that has this many options that requires you to back in and back out should sort of make the default like a home screen. Like we just backed out because I was trying to get back out. I was trying to get to the home screen and I pressed menu one too many times and it pulled us out. But I have seen apps that you can't leave unless you say exit the app. Sling TV is a very good example of that. But right now with this, you have to jump straight out of the app if you press menu too many times. And that could be a problem because there's so many menu options here. You might be like, oh, well, let me just need to get back to the home, and oops, you've left. You open it back up. So I wonder if there's almost a challenge for new adopters, because this is completely different than anything else they've done. Like I said, when I compared it to a Kodi build, it's like a Kodi build with every single bell and whistle checked. Vertical menus, horizontal menus, home, this, that, and the other. It has everything but the weather. But you can simplify things by going into search. Search works just like it always did. So let's say I'm going to look for something like my wife's been watching a lot of Ugly Betty lately. She just discovered it. Welcome to the mid-2000s, Josie. But, we do a search for Ugly Betty. You pull it up. And this is going to show you how you can watch it. Now, this works more like old Hulu. Like the old original. You see the show here. It says the latest episodes. I mean, there's nothing latest about a show this old, but this is the details screen. Under episodes, it gives you access to all the seasons. So you can, again, vertical, horizontal. We're vertical here. We're vertical here, but it's horizontal to switch back and forth. Related is like a nice helpful feature because that shows you things that you might like because you like that. Oh God, Neil Patrick Harris. It looks like his face hasn't changed in 20 years, but obviously it has, hasn't it? But what you might notice, you notice something. Where's the live? Where's the live TV? You kind of have to search for it because what we've done so far is basically bounce around the app, right? You have to go like all the way into over here where it's like TV, and then even here under TV, it breaks down into categories. Let's see. Select TV. I'm going to press OK. And what's this doing? It's opening up.
What the hell is happening?
Everyone was...
Oh, it opened up the X-Files. And so, I think the a major failing of this is that they've made this investment in live TV programming, but it doesn't come right out and slap you in the face. It's more like you go into something like a category, like let's say we're in new, my stuff, browse, and you got to go to networks. And here is where you start seeing the live TV networks. So it's more like you're on demand. It's like it might be too tricky a mismatch of on demand and live. I mean, because once you're here, you can go into other networks. Once you go all the way to the top of the screen, it breaks things down: entertainment, sports, kids, and that's nice. You go to A to Z, and that's everything that they have. Just like it says, A to Z. D, E is going to be F for Fox. But is this the way you want to watch TV? I don't know. Again, you click on Fox News, Fox Sports. Should it have launched into Fox Sports Southeast? Because what it does instead is pull up a list of menus. Here's what's live, Mets and Braves. But in general, you're looking and it's a lot of clicking. Now, something else I want to point out is you can't tell from the video, but throughout this process, I've been using the original Apple TV remote almost exclusively. Why? Because the way the menus are set up, they're so tight. Now, I'm going to use the regular thing. Okay? Now, I find the touchpad a little unprecise in this. Like if you click too fast, if you're in a hurry, you're going to skip things. Like you're on Star Wars A New Hope. Maybe you want to go to South Park, but you click down and whoops, you've passed it. So you have to be very careful about how you click through the lineup. Again, if you go to the right too fast, watch, whoop. It's like, oh man, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to sports. But, with the regular tactile buttons, you don't make that mistake. You can't do anything super quick, but at the same time, you can get into what you want. A way to actually deal with that a bit is if you get out of this and you go into settings, you can actually control just how fast your controller works. It's under remotes and devices, I believe. Surface tracking, yes. You select that, and we've already got it on slow. If you've got your surface tracking for fast, you can make yourself crazy bouncing around the Hulu app. So we're going to open it up, and now it's like whoop. You make a slight tap, and you've gone all over the place. It's kind of hard to follow, isn't it? So, like I said, I'm not trying to confuse you here, but if you're using a traditional Apple TV remote, you don't deal with that. But a lot of you weren't going to have traditional Apple TV remotes. So, what I highly recommend is under remotes and devices, You go ahead and make sure your surface tracking is slow. But so that's sort of my take on the app. That it's a beautiful, beautiful app. It's a major visual upgrade from the old black and green thing. I didn't really have a problem with the black and green thing, but I wonder if in the end it's just too complicated to find things. Like, because somebody might come home and they just want to say, oh, I want to watch the Cavs playoff game. Okay, I'm going to go to sports. Oh, what have I just selected? Oh, I've opened up a TV show. Okay, well that's not what I want. I want to watch the game. Where's just the game? Let me click TV. And what's all this? Okay, no, that's not it. Do I need to look for it? Do I need to search for it? Is it under search? Is that a NBA? I mean, if you remember the old yellow pages, remember how it was hard to find something? You just wanted to know where's McDonald's. Okay, let's see. Go to team page. NBA Eastern. This is the All Stars. There's no games available right now. NBA Countdown. What's that? There are no games available right now. See? I mean, we already showed you how you do it, but it isn't obvious. You've got to put it into my stuff in order to make it easy. So again, so if you really want the NBA, you got to go to Browse Networks. Maybe you can go to Sports. And then it breaks it down. NBA. And now you can see where you're going to watch the games tonight. The Boston Celtics are playing at 8. The Jazz and the Warriors are playing at 10. The Cavs played last night. Do you think that's easy? I'm not so sure. I kind of wish that it had a more forward-facing live TV interface. And that's really the most negative thing I can say is that for all its beauty, the app, it's not easy to use. I don't think it's intuitive. I'm not sure if this was designed by people who watch TV and use the apps, or if it was designed by somebody who said, if their emphasis was beauty. Because you can't argue that it isn't very, very pretty. Like I said, the artwork, flipping in and out, I mean, it's really awesome. But is it easy to use? Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know if this passes the child test. I taught my daughter how to use a Roku when she was like 6 years old. And she jumped into Netflix. She jumped into the old Hulu app, and she was able to figure out everything as she went. The search was obvious. The networks thing was obvious. So, with this being a public beta, I wonder if Hulu is going to take a real look at what they're doing and maybe make things a little more clear. My suggestions would be to make live TV more out front. You should be able to jump right into live TV from the home menu, don't you think? You go to home, you should be able to boom, live TV, and then it will pull up a TV screen with whatever's playing live and allow you to flip through the channels and flip through different selections. Then there should maybe be a separate category for all the rest of the stuff. If you want to make a big, highly involved menu, that's fine. But if you're selling somebody a live TV program for $40, you should be able to get to that. But between the fact that it's kind of hard to find where the live TV stuff is, and might be hard to read because of their insistence on using white in the background no matter what the artwork is, this might be hard to use. I really worry about the sort of factor if you have an older person, someone who isn't super comfortable with technology, and you say, hey, look what we're going to do for you. We're going to help you cut cable and save money because it's getting too expensive for someone on Social Security. They could really get confused with this menu. I mean, I think it's a little confusing. And I do this all the time. And I'm not saying I might not be the foremost expert on everything in computers, but it seems like I should have been able to find live TV quicker when I started. But instead, I used this app last night for a couple of hours so I could show you where things are. So, that's my thinking. Visually stunning, but maybe confounding because of the size of the fonts, for the descriptions and the fact that they use white. The interactive menus are nice, but are there too many? I mean, how many choices do you have right here? 1, 2, let's see, we go to home, and we go to, just to start with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, we're going to switch over with me. 11, 12, there's your Disney, the bingeable stuff. I just don't know. I don't know if that's helpful. I know they want to put everything out there so you can find it, but by putting everything out there, it's like everything. It's like everything's a needle in a haystack. Because again, where in the haystack is live TV? It's not under lineup. It's not at home. It's not at. It's not at TV. That's TV shows. So that is my thinking. Pretty, plenty of channels. It has 50 something channels depending on what you have. Your local channels are going to be affected by whether your local channels are owned by networks or whether they're owned by like independent companies. So don't get too excited when it says, Hulu gives you this, that, ABC and NBC and so on. That's not really true. It gives you access to it if your NBC affiliate works with them. It gives you access to it if your ABC affiliate works with them. And for the most part, it's all going to come down to, does the network own your affiliate? So that's it. I hope you found that helpful. If you found it confusing, you're not alone. I did my best, but there's so much to talk about here. I hope you will subscribe to my channel. Please do. Please share this with your friends who have been asking and mentioning Hulu. And as always, stream on, my friends.